Hello, everybody. We're in the studio today, and I have finally come to a definitive decision about what kind of blanket to make for my granddaughter. I have been through several different ideas, and I was not pleased with the others. I was going to do a 10-stitch blanket. I didn't think it was pretty. I found another pattern, an aspen pattern, but I didn't like what it was going to look like either. So now I have found what I want to do. Let me post just a brief picture of one that I found on Facebook of what this is going to look like. Isn't that beautiful? Now, a lady made that, and it's not even completed yet in that form, but she mentioned that the pattern came from Arne and Carlos. Some of you may be familiar with them. They're wonderful knitters who live in Scandinavia, I think Norway or Sweden. And so I went and found on their channel where they gave a little bit of instruction about this pattern, and it was enough. It was enough. The only drawback is it's crocheted. I wasn't going to do a big crochet project ever again because of my thumbs. My daughter has given me these wonderful little gloves for knitters and crocheters that does give you some support for sore thumbs. And I'm just going to try to take it easy and do it very slowly. Now over here I have a big old, let me see if I can move that. I have a nice pile of yarn. I have some little balls of yarn. This is a perfect project for little bits. And Arne and Carlos said you can use all your yarn, big fat yarn, skinny yarn. You can mix and match your yarn and your colors and your type. And it's a great way to use up your stash. So, but I'm going to stick to all a kind of a slim worsted weight. This is mostly Simply Soft or Simply Soft. What's the one from Hobby Lobby? It has a similar name, something about being soft. Oh, Soft Secret. There you go. So I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Now, this is not at all finished. I've got a little assortment. I'm going to probably need, 100, 150 or more of these. This might be 30, maybe. But it's a very easy little circle to do. Now, there's one more round on these flowers, one more layer around the outside, and that's the one that joins it to the other flowers around it. You're going to have you're going to have that final row. You're going to have 6 other flowers that it attaches to, and this next row is going to have little points on it, which gives each flower just a charming look. To me, it looks like somebody took a whole bunch of flowers and just threw them on the bed. And as soon as I saw that and how pretty it was, I thought, that's what I want my granddaughter to have. So it may take me a while. I'm fine with that. But I'm going to try to do, a few of these every day if I can. Yeah. So, and I think the variety of colors is going to be just really, really fun. Don't you think so? Let's look at it again. I was going to do pretty much all pink pastels in her blanket, but I realized doing this this throw, this will be more like a throw that would fit on maybe a single bed, a twin bed, that I needed some contrast to make things pop out. So this will be a good contrast color. So will the dark green, so will the teal. I've got some dark blue too I need to pull out and mix and match. I do love the pretty pastel ones, and I even have a variegated pastel. Got a little bit, not much of it, I just got this much. So I'm going to use it sparingly. But I think it's going to look really, really sweet. Okay, I'm trying this for the second time. Last time it was too hard with the camera in the way, but now I'm really hoping that I stay in the camera range. It's not quite as, well, that's too long of a tail, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to, after you do a slip knot and stick your crochet hook in there, then you're going to do 6 chain stitches. Okay. And this hook is a size H. Don't know what that might be elsewhere. And then you're going to stick your hook back in that first stitch and pull that through. Okay, so now you've got a little loop. And then you're going to do 4 chains. And then you're going to do 1 extra chain. Okay, so the 4 chains are the height of a triple crochet, and then that one extra chain is the little bridge kind of that goes sideways. And this is all triple crochet, so we're gonna, did you see what I did there? I'm gonna loop it over once and over twice. And then you insert your hook into the middle of that circle and pull it through 2 of the loops, and 2 more, and 2 more. Okay, so now I have 2 triple crochets with a chain in between them. Now what I want to do with this tail, instead of leaving it hanging, I'm going to incorporate it into my crochet and hold it there. No, see, I often forget to do that. I have to do that 1 chain. Now I can do my next triple, and I am doing that stitch wrapping up that tail. All right, then I do 1 chain and I do another one. Now I'm going to do a total of 12 triple crochets, like spokes in the hub of a wheel, and that 12 includes that first one, which was a set of chains. Okay, there's the bridge, loop it twice, stick it in the middle, pull it through. Now you may wonder why I'm going to the finicky trouble of trying to incorporate this tail, and that's because this is going to be a blanket, and I'm going to have, you know, 150 tails, not to mention the other loose ends, and when I get done, the last thing I want to have to do is go back and sew all those in. It's a pain. And so if I do this little thing every time, then by the time I get done, I won't have any of those tails to sew in. I'm going to do it again on the second row of this flower. And I do think in the end, I don't know how much of it, it's probably a time saver, certainly, but it's also just a headache saver, because everybody's least favorite thing is sewing in the ends. This is the splittiest yarn. Okay. I hope I'm staying within the camera range. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, now there's 12 total. And I'm going to flip this over and cut off this little tail, so I don't have to think about it anymore. All right, now I have to do one more chain stitch there. That's my bridge, and I'm going to come over here to this tall tower of chain stitches that is my first triple, and I'm going to go find that. I want to leave a bridge there, so I'm going to try to get the right hold there, and I'm going to pull it through and pull it straight through. Now this is how I've decided to do this, trying to make it look as good as possible. Let me see, what color do I want? Let's do a yellow. Okay, I'm going to cut this teal end off. I'm going to tie these in a little knot, and I'm going to try to get it as close to the work as possible. Okay, can you see that? Okay, now see, now I've got 2 ends here. I also want to try to incorporate those as I go along now. But I want to, I'm going to look at this next gap in the wheel. See this one right here? And I'm going to go underneath, grab my yellow yarn and bring it up. Grab it again, bring it through. And I'm going to call that my first chain. So then 1, 2, 3 more gives me 4. Okay. Now I want to put 2 triple crochets into here. Now I don't like this little teal leg right here, but I haven't found a way to get rid of it. That's about the best that I can do, which I think is okay. If anybody else has a trick for that. I tried changing colors earlier. That didn't really help any. It also looked bad. Okay. So there's these two. Now they're right next to each other. And now I'm going to, I hope I'm staying, oh, phooey. Between sections here, between pairs of triple crochet, you're going to have 2 chains. So now I'm going to go into the next spot. And do 1 there. And another triple crochet there. Okay. So I have 2 triple crochets in the first slot and 2 triple crochets in the second slot, separated by a 2 chain bridge. And we're going to do that all the way around, if we can pull out more yarn. And I'm trying to keep my tails enclosed as I go. There are better videos out there with people who have better, like, I don't know, they have headgear for their cameras or something. They have special cameras that are overhead. I don't have that. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? Pretty easy. I try to get some contrasting yarns and some complementary yarns. Let's flip over and see what this is looking like. See how I've enclosed those in there? Now I can come back and snip off these little teeny ends very carefully. But now I won't have to go back and do that with a needle afterward a million times, is what it feels like, of course. Okay, I'm going to go all the way around in this same pattern. And then we'll just tie it off. And this one will be done at this stage. Okay, I've done my last pair in my last slot. And now I've also done 2 extra chains so that I can attach to the top of this first triple. Pull that on through. And then I just snip There's my finished flower. 1 more to add to the bunch. I hope that's helpful. Tell me if you think you might make something like this. It's a good time of year to do it. It's almost spring. For next week's video, I have a super exciting treat. I have something special in this bag and that bag. And way up on the shelf, something in that bag right there. And I'm going to take us on a little trip into the countryside, and you're going to see what I discovered. I can't wait to share that with you. That'll be next week.